Fam, happy TGIF. Holla at your boy in the live chat. In today's show, we'll be discussing the Bitcoin price remaining undoubtedly bullish as 30,000 Bitcoin buyers emerge. And check this out. Pro-Bitcoin U.S. presidential candidate Robert Kennedy Jr. says he holds between $100,000 and $250,000 in BTC. And quoting Max Kaiser, "We need Bitcoin. Bitcoin doesn't need us." Facts. Also in today's show, Gemini files a lawsuit against the digital currency group and Barry Silbert over Genesis and Earn program. I'll be breaking down the latest from the Winklevoss twins, as well as why Bitcoin ETF approval would be a big deal. We'll also be discussing Google Cloud furthers Bitcoin Lightning ambitions with their Voltage partnership, as well as BlackRock CEO Larry Fink calls Bitcoin digital gold and says a spot Bitcoin ETF will democratize crypto investments. We'll send it. We'll also be discussing AI. Artificial intelligence has the potential to send the Bitcoin price to over $750,000, according to the ex-BitMEX CEO, Arthur Hayes. We'll also be taking a look at the overall crypto market. All this, plus so much more, in today's show. And if you're new to the channel, make sure to smash that subscribe button and, turn on notifications. That way you get notified each and every single day when I go live here in the channel. And with that being shared, welcome to everyone just joining us here on this fine Friday. Today is pod episode number 1334. I'm your host, JV, and today is July 7th, 2023. Let's kick it off with our market watch. We can see Bitcoin still hanging on to 30,000 support, currently just above 30,200 and correcting about 0.25% for the day. We have Ether down 1%, trading just under $1,900, while XRP, BNB, Litecoin, and Doge all correcting and in the red. And checking out coinmarketcap.com, the current crypto market cap is sitting at $1.17 trillion with about 33 billion in volume in the past 24 hours, with the Bitcoin dominance back on the rise at 49.9%, and the Ether dominance seems to be back on the decline at 19% even. And checking out coinmarketcap.com, according to the top 100 crypto gainers in the past 24 hours, we have eCash leading the pack, up almost 9%, followed by Eunice Said Leo, up almost 4%, followed by CurveDAO token up 3%, trading at 76.5 cents. And checking out the top 100 crypto gainers for the past week, we can see XEC up about 9%, KAS up about 10%, with the biggest loser being FXS down 7.1%. And checking out the Crypto Greed and Fear Index, we're currently rated a 55 in greed, yesterday a 56, last week a 56, and last month a 53, which is neutral. So there you have it. How many of you are currently bullish on the King Crypto? Let me know. And how many of you took advantage of this recent dip, revisiting 30,000? Holla at your boy. Now let's dive into today's Bitcoin technical analysis. Check out the charts on what is popping with the Bitcoin price action. Bitcoin teased more range-bound moves on July 7th as traders recovered from a day of volatility, as we can see here in the Bitcoin one-day candle chart. Data from Cointelegraph Markets Pro and TradingView showed Bitcoin price action hugging 30,000 overnight. The Bitcoin bulls hoped that the new yearly highs the day prior would allow Bitcoin to exit its month-long trading range for good, but ended up disappointed. Now, Bitcoin saw a rejection of 31,500, which is the current yearly high, falling below the 30,000 mark just hours later to challenge the lower part of the range. And looking ahead, traders thus reverted to the risk-off mode in the short term, quoting crypto analyst Crypto Tony, update 30,000 acting as good support for now, but now follow through form the bears. Another day of ranging, I imagine we shall see, which should mean pumpy on our altcoins. And quoting crypto trader Jelly, who says Bitcoin 4-hour RSI, which is the relative strength index, almost fully reset as the price made its way towards the local range lows. I am not expecting much volatility over the weekend, likely just more range bound. And fellow trader Scoo nonetheless noted what appeared to be a solid buyer interest at the overnight low of 29,700. Quoting him here, Bitcoin Binance Spot, quite a lot of Bitcoin being bought here, actually in decent liquidity definition here. Supply 31,003 to 32,000 and demand between 29.5 and 28,000. He also added the Bitcoin price trajectory suffered at the hands of aggressive short selling at 31.5, which has been hit, and longer-term perspectives likewise continued the overall bullish narrative with short-term retracements and sideways movement below resistance, a necessary hurdle to overcome. Quoting another analyst by the name of Trader Coase, with a lot of people talking about the shorter-term pullbacks, it's important to keep the bigger picture in mind and not lose focus. Whether we pull back to 28,000, 29,000, or wherever else, this weekly chart is undoubtedly bullish in my opinion, and I'll be looking to bid dips. So there you have it. How many of you are undoubtedly bullish right now on the King Crypto? Let me know and check it. We know he is running for a Democrat. We're talking about Robert Kennedy Jr. He is pro-Bitcoin and anti-CBDC, and he says he holds between 100,000 and 250,000 worth of Bitcoin. So with Bitcoin's current price of roughly 30,000, that means he owns at least 3 full Bitcoins and maybe as much as roughly 8 in that ballpark, which is good to note. And as Max says, we don't need Bitcoin, but the fact is Bitcoin needs us. Now let's discuss the latest of what's happening between the Winklevoss twins and their crypto exchange, Gemini, one of the top crypto exchanges in the United States, and they're just launched a brand new lawsuit against the digital currency group, and Barry Silbert, who is the owner and controller of the GBTC, the Grayscale Bitcoin Trust, which is currently attempting to be converted into a spot Bitcoin ETF, but that's only if they got the permission from the SEC. We don't know how this is likely to play out, but let's discuss this latest lawsuit because it's very interesting, and also welcome to y'all who are just tuning in to the live show. Make sure to say hello in the live chat. United States-based crypto exchange Gemini announced legal action against the conglomerate digital currency group and its CEO Barry Silbert, claiming fraud against creditors. In a brand new July 7th filing, which is today in the New York court, Gemini alleged that DCG and Barry Silbert engaged in a scheme involving lending huge amounts of crypto and US dollars to Genesis. And according to the filing, Gemini seeks to recover funds incurred as a result of DCG's and Silbert's false, misleading, and incomplete representations and omissions to Gemini and their role in encouraging and facilitating Genesis's fraud against Gemini, adding the firm would also pursue legal avenues in Genesis's bankruptcy case. Genesis is a DCG subsidiary, in case you didn't know, and has been the crypto lender responsible for operating an Earn program in partnership with Gemini. How many of you have been affected by Gemini Earn? Let me know. Which launched back in 2021. The program claimed Gemini users could loan crypto to Genesis with the promise that the firm would repay it with interest. However, the firm halted withdrawals back in November of last year, citing unprecedented market turmoil, and subsequently filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy. Can't make this stuff up. According to a July 7th Twitter thread from Gemini co-founder Cameron Winklevoss, Silbert knew Genesis was massively insolvent when attempting to continue the Earn program. The complaint included alleged false financial reporting from DCG and Barry Silbert, starting with the collapse of Three Arrows Capital in June of 2022, which blew a $1.2 billion hole in Genesis's balance sheet. Winklevoss has claimed that Genesis and DCG owe $900 million to Gemini's clients. Quoting Winklevoss here, you can see this thread he actually just launched on Twitter regarding the lawsuit, but here's some of the highlights. Barry, DCG, and Genesis all conspired to create false financial reports to hide the truth from Gemini and creditors, claim Winklevoss. This fraud goes to the very top. Barry Silbert and other DCG execs were directly involved in these lies, and they lied again and again to conceal the truth from Gemini and other creditors. What are your thoughts surrounding this fraud? Winklevoss had made repeated threats to sue DCG and Silbert over delays in resolving the issues between Gemini and Genesis, most recently issuing an open letter, which I read in great detail a couple of days back, to the CEO proposing a best and final offer of $1.47 billion by 2028. And in a July 7th response on Twitter, DCG said the lawsuit was a publicity stunt by the Winklevoss twins. I think not. And any claims of wrongdoing were baseless, defamatory, and completely false. All I know is the Winklevoss twins don't seem like they would create defamatory, wrongdoing. I think it has legitimate claim. I mean, Barry Silbert's responsible for screwing people out of over $1 billion, and it seems the Winklevoss twins are just concerned with helping their investors get repaid. What are your thoughts? Let me know. The fallout of the EARN program made both Genesis and Gemini targets of federal and state regulators. Facts. The U.S. SEC filed a suit against the two firms in January for allegedly offering unregistered securities, and New York's Department of Financial Services was reportedly investigating Gemini over claims of its EARN program. And like I said, there is a very detailed thread from Cameron Winklevoss, so I'll be sure to include this in the show notes below the video in the description so you can get the full story for those who are interested. And with that being shared, now let's discuss why a Bitcoin spot ETF in the United States is so important for Bitcoin and what it can do for the, price action and for future adoption. But I also want to state just, before I even begin, that Bitcoin doesn't need a spot ETF approved. It will continue to do what it has been doing successfully over the past, since 2009, it's now 2023. That means the past 14 years. It will continue. However, I do believe when it comes to mass adoption, this would help tremendously, as there's so many institutions worth trillions upon trillions of dollars. They have trillions in capital just awaiting to be deployed into the King crypto. So obviously, I feel it would be a massive, massive beacon for the future of crypto. But nonetheless, in this week's episode of Market Talks, Natalie Brunell, podcast host, educator, and commenter on Bitcoin space. Her podcast is Coin Stories. Be sure to check it out if you haven't already. She explains how Bitcoin is a tool for the financial empowerment of billions of people worldwide, and how the depreciating US dollar is stripping away people's economic dignity. The elephant in the room when discussing Bitcoin with someone new to the crypto space is its volatility and risk factor. I like what Michael Saylor says about the volatility. Volatility equals life force. Brunell describes how to overcome this and how Bitcoin might be better than traditional assets, including stocks and real estate. Yeah, of course. Brunell offers her take on institutions turning back towards crypto amid multiple spot Bitcoin ETF filings. Despite their love-hate relationship with the sector, Brunell wonders if institutions just want a piece of the pie now that crypto is being taken seriously as an asset class. She also gives her sense of how people feel about a Bitcoin ETF, why the US SEC might lean towards approval. Brunell also talks about her roots and backstory, describing what it was like growing up under communism and how her parents' struggles motivated her to search for something like Bitcoin long before it existed. And for aspiring content creators, she also explains how she found success in doing so. So yeah, if you haven't checked out her podcast, be sure to do so and let me know your thoughts surrounding a spot Bitcoin ETF being approved in the United States. I've been given many predictions since the recent volume of ETF filings that many people are anticipating $1 million plus Bitcoin price. A little later here in the show, we're going to be discussing Bitcoin realistically hitting 760,000, not even related to the spot ETF, but in regards to AI driving that price up, which is very interesting coming from the ex-BitMEX founder. But our next story is the latest with Google adopting Bitcoin Lightning with their new partnership. Then we're going to dive a little deeper into the BlackRock specific ETF and the latest from Larry Fink, who is the CEO of BlackRock, the largest asset manager in the world, and his specific thoughts on Bitcoin. And then we'll dive into Arthur Hayes' 760 prediction, followed by some live Q&A. So yeah, let's break down this Google Lightning partnership. Google Cloud is the latest company to show interest in Bitcoin Lightning. The $250 billion cloud and data service recently partnered with Voltage, an infrastructure provider specializing in the Bitcoin Lightning Network. Massive shout out to the Bitcoin Lightning Network. The partnership will allow one of the world's largest cloud computing providers to roll out Bitcoin-based services worldwide while assisting the expansion of Voltage's operations. Here's what their CEO had to say. Voltage is leveraging Google Cloud to go to service our customers more globally. So we have larger customers that need nodes deployed in specific geographic regions like the United Kingdom or Asia. And conversely, Google can use Voltage as sort of their outsourced Bitcoin and Lightning team. We service that business for them of actually, helping companies that are interested in adding Bitcoin or Lightning to their services. The announcement received significant traction on social media and reflects Google's growing understanding and acceptance of Bitcoin and Lightning. But crucially, the implications of the partnership run even deeper. Christopher Calicott, the managing director of venture capital firm Tramwell Partners, said, "We have some people that were former Googlers in back channels saying this is kind of unacceptable unexpected engagement that definitely gets people's attention at Google. And moreover, Google's open-minded approach to Lightning opposes that of its competitor Apple. Apple delisted Damus, I don't know how to pronounce that, the Lightning-friendly decentralized social media protocol from the App Store recently, demonstrating an aversion to Lightning, and also explained that the tech world would be warming up to Lightning. Quoting him here, there is a growing and broad-based corporate tinkering with Lightning in particular right now. If they are adjacent to payments, they would ignore Lightning, that Perel. So there you have it. Let me know your thoughts surrounding this partnership, and also quoting them here, I hate to over-index on any one particular corporation here, but just for me, like anything in life, when people put their money where their mouth is, it sends a very strong signal of where they're focusing. So there you have it. You have Google literally focusing on the Bitcoin Lightning Network. That's what's up. Another great sign of mass adoption incoming as Bitcoin game theory continues in full effect. Now for the latest from Larry Fink, who is the CEO of BlackRock, the largest asset management titan in the entire world. And then we'll dive into Arthur Hayes' 760,000 price prediction driven by AI. So here we go. BlackRock CEO Larry Fink believes that a spot Bitcoin ETF would make crypto investments more accessible to a broader range of people. I think the broader perspective, it makes it available to the massive corporations and asset managers like BlackRock. As a ordinary pleb, we don't need spot Bitcoin ETFs. We don't want third parties holding our Bitcoin because there's nothing like the real thing, baby. Not your keys, not your coins. But anyways, during a recent interview with Fox Business, this is a brand new interview, Fink said that the ETFs have been a game changer for the finance industry and have the potential to bring further innovation. Quoting him here, we're a believer in the digitization of products. ETFs was a big revolution for the mutual fund industry, and it has really taken over the mutual fund industry. And we do believe that if we can create a more tokenization of assets and securities, and that's what Bitcoin is, it could revolutionize finance. And so we look at this as an opportunity to move one step further in terms of providing investors fractions of shares, fractions of this, and democratizing the costs of investing. Over the last 10 years, we lowered the cost of BlackRock iShare ETFs by 30%. So what we're trying to do is make it more accessible or easy. And he continues, the attempt in terms of what we're trying to do with crypto is to make it more democratized with all of the crypto and making it much cheaper for investors. Right now, the bid-ask spread for crypto is very expensive. It does erode a lot of the returns that you speak about because it costs a lot of money right now to transact Bitcoin, and it costs a lot of money to get out of that. Well, with the Lightning Network, it really doesn't. So just note that. And according to the BlackRock co-founder and CEO, Bitcoin is an international asset that serves as an alternative to gold. As he reveals here, I do believe the role of crypto is it's digitizing gold in many ways. That's right, it's gold 2.0. Instead of investing in gold as a hedge against inflation, a hedge against the onerous problems of any one country or the devaluation of your currency, whatever country you are in. So let's be clear, Bitcoin is an international asset. It is not based on any one currency, and so it can represent an asset that people can play as an alternative. So there you have it. Larry Fink, the CEO of the largest asset manager in the world, bullish as a mofo on the King Crypto, as you can expect. So the million-dollar question becomes, when will the SEC finally approve a spot Bitcoin ETF in the United States? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Also like to throw out there, the next Bitcoin halving in 2024 is only roughly 9.5 months away, and that the SEC has to respond to the BlackRock ETF application beforehand. So will we witness the perfect storm around the time of the Bitcoin halving next year? Let me know your honest thoughts. And now let's dive into our final breaking story of the day and the moment you have all been waiting for. Shall we? Check this out. Bitcoin will be the currency of artificial intelligence. That's right, AI, and can reach a price per coin of $760,000 in the process, according to Arthur Hayes. In his latest essay titled Masa, the former BitMEX CEO concluded that the AI revolution would naturally gravitate towards BTC. And if you haven't read his essay, I highly encourage you to check it out. I'll include this in the show notes below the video in the description as a reference, but here I'm going to be sharing some of the highlights. So despite fiat currency regimes being destined to become even more dysfunctional in the future, Hayes said there is one burgeoning economic sector that will only go from strength to strength, and that, my friend, is AI. While still nascent in 2023, the coming decades will see an explosion of AI-related implementations that will make it ubiquitous and unavoidable. Quoting him here, recent advancements in computing power have brought us to the cusp of a hockey stick movement. That's where we go parabolic, in which AI will go viral and change the course of humanity virtually overnight. In only 2 months, ChatGPT reached 100 million monthly active users, making it the fastest adopted technology in human history, even faster than Bitcoin. If you didn't know, now you know. So just imagine how quickly everything is going to change as AIs are integrated into everyday life and continue to learn and improve. And I also want to point out, right before I went live here this afternoon or early evening, guess what? Breaking news, AI can now communicate with AI and send money through the Bitcoin Lightning Network. So AI can send and receive Bitcoin payments to other AI. The future, my friend, is truly here. Times are getting very interesting. And when it comes to integration, the financial solution on the table, first and foremost, Hayes said, will not be tailor-made. AI-focused altcoin, it will be Bitcoin instead. I agree with that. Bitcoin being the native currency of AI. How cool is that? Especially with how fast adoption is with AI. Now, the reason an accompanying theory states is that AI will view Bitcoin inherent qualities and immutable fixed supply, digital scarcity, and its status as energy money as the legal choice. Quoting him here, an AI unlikely to allow itself to rely on anything that a human government operates. Therefore, only gold and Bitcoin are suitable. And he says a tie between gold and Bitcoin. Bitcoin is thus the logical currency choice for any AI. It is purely digital, censorship resistant, provably scarce, and an intrinsic value which is completely electricity cost dependent. There is nothing in existence today that comes close to challenging Bitcoin on these aspects. Facts, fam. Now for another path towards the $1 million Bitcoin price action. Obviously, we're sitting just above 30,000 today, so the real effect that AI should kick in around 3 years' time. After that, Hayes said it could be around another decade before the network value boost from AI alone sends Bitcoin price to nearly $1 million. Quoting him again, I believe the peak of deranged growth investing will occur in the 2025 to 2026 timeframe. Therefore, the goal of my predictions regarding the future price of Bitcoin is to form a narrative that takes hold before then. Now, depending upon the scale of that investing, the Bitcoin price action could see up to $760,000 per coin. We're saying by 2025, 2026, send it. Let's go. And he shares here, remember, the market will overpay for Bitcoin network growth if it believes there is a possibility that my assumptions could be true in the future. Facts. Now, the most money is made when the market price adjusts from can never happen to maybe it could happen. That's right. Take that, Bitcoin trolls. And Hayes is well known for his bullish long-term perspective, as we know, recently championing $1 million price tag as a function of fiat currency disintegration. So there you have it. What are your thoughts surrounding his $760,000 prediction for the King Crypto within the next couple of years? Holla at your boy in the live chat. And now let's dive into our live Q&A. Shout out to each and every one of you tuning in and just joining us here during the live show. Nate Sandoval sent a $2 super chat contribution. Says, hey, beat connect. Hilarious. Appreciate you tuning in, fam. Appreciate the love, support. Much love and respect. Jeff S., Mike Well, Rudy will stop Sun versus Guru, Michael Volkman, Savvy Bitcoiner. How y'all doing today on this fine Friday? Let me know. Corky C, good to see you as well. Appreciate you tuning in, supporting the channel. And a reminder for those of you new to the channel, don't forget to smash that like button and hit the bell icon to turn on notifications so you get notified each and every day when I go live, as I go live at different time frames on a day-to-day basis. Also note, if you want to help out the channel and spread the gospel of Satoshi by spreading this Bitcoin news, be sure to share this. It's simple, and if you comment, it helps out tremendously with the YouTube algorithm, meaning the main comment section below the video, like after the live chat is done, just drop comments mainly below the video, even if it's just, hey, what's up, JV? Good show today. You know what I mean? What's good? Long live the king. Whatever you want to say. Again, it helps out tremendously, and we'll get more eyeballs to the show, which is ultimately doing God's work, spreading the holy gospel of Satoshi, which again, I greatly appreciate. Digital Dankness says, so is the Lightning Network going to utilize the cloud, or is it just data storage? Because I see the could as the worldwide data servers, but not an algorithm running. Excellent question. I'm not 100% sure, so if anyone can clarify and share some insights, do let us know. All I know is what I shared in that article, as that's breaking news to me. But I do think overall that's bullish for Bitcoin, just considering that Google is investing into integration with the Bitcoin Lightning Network. It's a pretty big deal. Should be good afternoon. That's right. It is afternoon for many of y'all, unless it's evening and you're on the other side of the world, such as the UK and Asia, as I know we have an audience and fan base from all the continents, which is pretty awesome. Coin Dad was popping. Coin Father, good to see you. What's new today? JV, do you know how they are going to utilize the cloud? No, all I know thus far is what I shared with you in that article. That's the first time I reported on that. But if I have any more insights, I'll definitely keep you posted, as it's very interesting. Forecast is for a high 98 Fahrenheit with humidity of 12. We'll try to stay cool in the indoors. I know that's pretty extreme heat. Probably roughly 100 degrees with the sun index here in Puerto Rico, so I feel for you. I got the AC turned on, the fans turned on, doing my best to stay cool myself. Dang, but that's normal for this type of year. I was born and raised in San Diego. Well, San Diego has some of the most beautiful weather in the world, so I've been out there a few hundred times. Word up. Volkman, San Diego is too many people for me, so is Phoenix, so we moved the globe when we retired. Volkman, where are you currently living? When you said move to globe, is that a city? San Diego is too expensive nowadays, so I moved to the east. Okay, a lot of people moving out from that area. My problem is when I have been east, Georgia, Florida, Alabama, have been the humidity. Yeah, humidity is no joke, especially in Florida, right? I know firsthand experience. It does get humid, says Dankness. I've lived in Georgia for a little bit, upstate New York. A lot of weather talk here. Congratulations for making it work. Much love. Even the majority of people know our age, at least are on second or third spouse. Good Lord. I don't think I could ever do it again. I was married once. I got divorced in 2019, and I think I learned a valuable lesson. I do not want the government involved with anything, including my relationship. Yeah, I mean, it is what it is, fam. You live, you learn. Podcast episode number 1334. That's right. In the building. What's good? Good to see y'all. Let's keep scrolling down here. Continue rattling out these comments. Baz Dragon, appreciate your support. Appreciate you tuning in. Jeremy Amos, what's poppin'? Christian Avils, what's up? JV the man, I hope you are being good. Fam, it's been a while since I joined the live, but I am always listening on Spotify. I greatly appreciate that. And what a great reminder for those of you who did not know or don't know, I am also have an active show on Spotify and iTunes. In fact, we get roughly 400,000 downloads per month just from those two platforms. So if you prefer, maybe you're on the go, you're in the car, and you can't watch live stream via YouTube, well, you can also listen via podcast, any major podcasting community, all of them. But obviously iTunes and Spotify being the two largest out there. All you got to do is type in crypto news alerts, or in fact, if you just typed in Bitcoin into Spotify or iTunes, I'll come up as one of the top recommended podcasts. So make sure to do so for those who didn't know. And again, it helps support the channel as well. Volkman, what's poppin'? Maximus, Tim's Crypto, hope all is well. You know it. It's TGIF today. So we thank God it's Friday. The weekend is amongst us. Rudy LaPlane says the weekend is here. Smash that like. Greatly appreciate that, fam. Much love. Mass adoption dominoes are falling, and it's just starting 100%. You already know. Dan LP, thank you for continuing your grind. My friend, you are very welcome. Appreciate your support. Moving from Australia says, we'll stop Sun versus Guru. Word up. Hope you're enjoying it down there, down under. And again, I appreciate the super chat contributions. There's also a QR code. I've been receiving sats being zapped to me. I greatly appreciate those as well. If you have the choice of sending it, kind of like we call this a tip, right? Through a QR code of Bitcoin or through YouTube. Personally, I'd prefer through the QR code because they don't take 30%. If you send it through YouTube, they get 30%. It just is what it is. Either way, it's all good. I don't expect it. When it comes, and I just, hey, it's great. Stack more sats. It is what it is. But yeah, through the Lightning Network would be my recommendation if it's a possibility. I know some of you are using Strike, which is a great app. Owner Jack Mullers, and shout out to Jack. He just launched his own podcast, which should be long overdue. And the first episode features Jack Dorsey, and it's a very good conversation. I suggest checking it out. Bitcoin is a slap-shotting fiat banking system put of the arena. Word up, Mike. Well, love that. Never heard that before. Glad to see you here. Appreciate it, Savvy Bitcoiner. Much love and respect. Maximus says 765,000. Bring it and let's freaking go. Send it. We will drop comments. Long live the king. You already know. And for those, also, don't put the same comment 10,000 times. Some of you put like, this is for the algorithm, and you'll copy paste the same message 100 times thinking it's going to help. No, the comments have to be different. We don't want copy paste because then the algorithm picks it up as spam and it won't count towards helping the channel. So put legitimate comments, even if they're only one word. Long live the king, or hallelujah, Bitcoin to the moon. Obvious, those aren't one word, but you get the point. Stack those stats while you can. Facts. Move to Globe, Arizona. Okay, that's a city in AZ. A town about 90 miles due east of Phoenix. I love Arizona. It's a beautiful place. I can't deal with the heat. My eyes instantly tear. I don't know why that is. That doesn't happen in Puerto Rico. Doesn't happen in Florida. Maybe because the heat is so dry. But I just remember being out there in the desert, and it's just like I couldn't. It looked like I just was crying unconditionally. But it's like my eyes can't handle the dryness. It's insane. So just for that reason, I can never live in Arizona. I can only visit. Crypto prenups, says Andy. Smart man. Even with the prenup, I'm never getting married again. I'll proclaim that to the world. Never. The only good thing that came out of it, honestly, is my daughter, and I'm very grateful for that. So much love and respect. Hayes, connect Bitcoin with AI seamlessly. It's a freaking go at 760. Bitcoin mining and data computing companies already branching into AI. Yeah, the adoption is insane how fast it's growing, and it literally has a mind of its own. So we're talking about super intelligence becoming more super intelligent. It's just insanity what the future holds in regards to AI. It's mind-boggling, don't you think? Do you think Barry Silbert will sell Grayscale to Fidelity, as he has stated? You would have to take Grayscale from his cold, dead hands. Good question. I have no clue what's going on with Barry Silbert. I wish I could sit down and have a conversation with him. But according to the Winklevoss twins, he's making no effort to repay anybody, hence why they had to launch the lawsuit. They gave him a warning a few days ago in that open letter, which I read out loud here in the show. And I guess, they didn't have a very nice response. And so the Winklevoss twins did what they said they were going to do. I miss trading on BitMEX pre-VPN days. That's what's up, Andy. Bitcoin alumni class. Same here, 2017. Massive shout out. John Floyd, do you still have confidence in the iTrust Capital account? Interesting you mentioned that. They're not currently a sponsor of the show, meaning they don't pay me to promote them, but I still rock their cup every day, and I have a lot of respect for iTrust Capital. I don't know if they're currently going through any tribulations. I haven't been in communication with them probably in 6 months, so probably want to do some due diligence and research, make sure government agencies don't have any unlawful acts against them, because you just never freaking know. I just say that because again, I haven't had a conversation with them in 6 months, but I still rep their coffee mug every day with my water, and I respect them. They treated me well as a sponsor, so I have nothing but positive things to say about them. And I know a lot of people who invested into, the iTrust IRA. The benefit, obviously, is the tax advantages by keeping your crypto in there. The downside, not your crypto, not your keys. So you have to keep that in mind as well. So anything which offers an award is going to have a risk. The risk that is you're not controlling your own private keys. However, you have tax-deferred crypto, which you don't got to pay taxes on because it's an IRA. So you got to weigh those options and see what's best for you. If you trust nobody, maybe it's best to just self-custody your crypto. But if you're looking for tax advantages, well, you may want to look into iTrust Capital. You know what I mean? Hopefully that helps. Next near time price target for Bitcoin, I'm thinking 35,000 rather than 26. I definitely think Bitcoin's on the way up. I don't think there's much resistance between 32.5. We just hit 31.5 as the high for the year, and 40 grand. So if there's not much resistance between then, that means we can catapult up as soon as we break clearly 32.5. And also I want to throw out there that things are more bullish right now. The long-term hodlers continues to increase, meaning people are stacking sats and they're holding on. A lot of Bitcoiners are now in profit again with Bitcoin above 30,000, including MicroStrategy, who's the largest publicly traded company with the biggest amount of Bitcoin on their balance sheet, currently controlling over 150,000. You know what I mean? So when we do the math commonly and we say there's over 50 million millionaires in the world, there can only ever be 21 million Bitcoin in existence as 21 million finite supply that Satoshi blessed us with. Also consider you got people like Michael Saylor and MicroStrategy, who control 150,000 Bitcoin. So that's 150,000 less millionaires who can become a whole coiner. And then what about all the other big institutions and BlackRocks out there who are going to be acquiring mass amounts of Bitcoin? Look at Tether USDT, already put 2% of their strategic reserves into Bitcoin. I think MicroStrategy and Tether are going to be amongst the largest hodlers of Bitcoin. Them alone could control millions of Bitcoin in the next few years. So there's so little of a supply. I think we'll have a legitimate supply crisis. And this is driven by every 4-year cyclical cycle called the Bitcoin halving. You know what I mean? It's built this way by design. So good stuff. Tony Jeffries in the building. I am not getting married ever again either. Much respect. New to the channel, do you have a Bitcoin node? Back in the day, I set up a Bitcoin node as an experiment, and when I moved, I never plugged it back in because I didn't know how to continue where I left off. So I'll probably start from scratch and do it all over again. Currently, I don't have one active. I have an inactive one I haven't plugged in several years. But I'm all for Bitcoin noding. I think everyone should have a node. Makes the network more secure. It also allows you to do really cool things like have privacy with your transactions, which many of you could probably benefit from. So you may want to look into it. It wasn't difficult to set up either. They make it very simple to do with a lot of the software you can tap into. So do keep that in mind. Yeah, the reflection of the sand in the sand is hurting your eyes in Arizona. Is that what it is, Will? Word up. I'm curious, how many of you are currently running your own Bitcoin node? While we're on the subject of nodes, do let me know. I got an I Trust account, says Mike Me. Word up. Good stuff. Me too. If you take profits on alts, you will never make the big money, says Anton. Satwise Jenks, happy Friday, fam. Happy Friday. Was good. I think the big boys are keeping the price down until they get their ticket to the moon. ETF approved. Precisely my thinking, Baz Dragon. And I think the regulators will probably have to approve the spot Bitcoin ETF in the United States by next year. I don't think they could push it back for much longer. Consider this: Gemini, the Winklevoss twins who own the Gemini exchange, they filed for the first spot Bitcoin ETF a decade ago. It was the anniversary a few days ago of a decade. So the SEC has been unlawfully denying ETF applications, which would ultimately help benefit Bitcoin and investors tremendously. They've been denying it with a track record for over a decade. Every single request and application, denied, 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 denied. You got to ask yourself why. Why did they allow a Bitcoin futures ETF where investors can trade with leverage and get super wrecked? Why is that allowed and a spot Bitcoin ETF not allowed? The $1 million question. And, what do you think? Let me know. In the news, MicroStrategy recently bought an additional 12,333 more Bitcoin for a total 152,333 Bitcoin. Precisely, savvy Bitcoiner. That's a lot of Bitcoin. That's 150,000 less Bitcoin on the open market for ordinary plebs like you and I. So are you starting to see the big picture? Becoming a whole coiner, super important, important for our future. It is also Bitcoin being the antidote to the CBDCs. If you don't want to be enslaved by our oppressors who have a history of enslaving the people, whoever controls the money supply controls the population. But guess what? Nobody controls the Bitcoin supply. So if you want freedom and sovereignty and escape the matrix, start stacking them sats and become a whole coiner as soon as humanly possible, because each and every year that goes by, it's going to be drastically more difficult to achieve that simple goal. You understand? And right now you have an excellent opportunity to become a whole coiner at a massive discount of only 30,000, considering the all-time high is 69,000, considering the all-time high was achieved literally back in 2021. You know what I mean? So it's like we have a deja vu opportunity to stack those sats. And we all know massive institution adoption and all the big wigs are jumping on board bullish on Bitcoin right now. So we know what's coming. everyone who tunes into the show on a daily basis knows what's up, and that's why you've been stacking sats. But if you're new, maybe you don't know. Some of you think that, oh, Bitcoin is too late. It's already 30,000 a coin. I can only profit and become successful in crypto if I invest in alts. That is not true. The beauty of Bitcoin, this is a fact, fam. One Bitcoin can be divided by 100 million Satoshis. You don't need to own a full Bitcoin to be in the game. You can purchase $5 worth, $10 worth, $100, whatever you can afford. It's better to have a $100 position of Bitcoin versus nothing. Some people believe if they can't be a whole coiner, they shouldn't even invest in the asset. And I think that thinking is going to cripple you. You understand? Because if you can't afford a full Bitcoin now, guess what? In 5 years, are you going to be able to afford it? No. But what if you start stacking now? Just buy a piece, own a piece, buy what you can. You know what I mean? If, of course, you believe in it. Of course, if you've done your own research, they say you need to do 10,000 hours of research to grasp Bitcoin. I've done hundreds of thousands of hours of research, and I can back that up because this is podcast episode number 1334, and every single episode I do requires a minimal of 3 hours of research, researching articles and learning about Bitcoin. So you can only imagine. You know what I mean? I've done my deal. Anyways, been running my own node for 4 years, so StatWise. That's what's up. Much love and much respect. Do you use it for your own transactions for privacy's sake as well? Please do enlighten us. And which program are you using to run the node? I forget the name. If it comes to my mind which one I was using, I'll let you know. Stack stacks and save weekly, monthly, quarterly. Use Bitcoin for savings account. Exactly. No more bank account savings account. I use Bitcoin as a savings because there's no such thing as savings with fiat because you're losing to hyperinflation as your purchasing power continues to decline, right? That, my friend, is a fact. And only keep in the bank what you can afford to lose at the end of the day. As Michael Saylor described it, fiat capital in a bank is no different than a melting ice cube because you're losing 20 to 30% purchasing power each and every year. And that's not likely to go down anytime soon. I think they're going to continue printing money and doing what they do best until the wheels fall off. Bet on that. Got mine. Start 9 is what I am using. Thank you for sharing. B. Phillips 64. Appreciate that. Drives me crazy when people won't buy Bitcoin because they can't buy a whole Bitcoin. Yeah, I even have family members, I won't mention any names, in that same boat. They own all these altcoins and own no Bitcoin because they think they missed the boat and they're insecure with their ego. The fact they can't be a whole coiner right now, they just rather be an ish coiner. While I understand that perspective, I think you're shooting yourself in the foot. But that's just my 2 Satoshis. Much love and much respect to all crypto investors. I only want to see crypto investors succeed. I'm not in the camp where if you're not in Bitcoin and you're only in these altcoins, I pray for your doomsday. I hope all crypto succeeds so that you can profit off of it because I'm for the investors at the end of the day. I want to see you succeed. You know what I mean? I like seeing people winning. I don't get satisfaction out of seeing people lose. I hate seeing people lose. That's why I'm anti-fiat currency. You know what I mean? Only keep in the bank what you can afford to lose because you are going to continue to lose purchasing power. Guaranteed. You feel me? It is great to be in a virtual company of like-minded people, 100%. And I think that's what makes this podcast so special and unique is our community. Anyone can rattle off some, crypto news, yada, 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 but we can connect with one another. We can meet up in real life. Like, for example, I've been calling it here for the past couple of years. When the Bitcoin price finally hits that 6-figure mark, we're going to have a celebration party here in Puerto Rico, and we can finally meet each other because many of you I have never met. And I think it would be pretty amazing because I can relate to y'all more so than some of my closest friends growing up just because you're a Bitcoiner, right? I rather, you know what I mean, be chatting with Bitcoiners than anyone else in the world. Why is that? Because I can relate to you because we view the world in a similar way, right? And that's powerful. I use Jade Hardware Wallet, Connect to Sparrow Desktop Wallet, connecting to the Bitcoin Core version 25. I appreciate that, StatWise. Great. Appreciate you sharing that. Hope we all make it. Power and freedom of the people. Fight the hegemony with voting for Bitcoin, 100%. And I truly pray the next presidential, or president of the United States, because the election is in 2024, ironically, the same year they're having. I pray whoever wins whoever wins, Democrat or Republican, whoever wins, I just pray they're pro-Bitcoin. And right now there's two candidates that we know of who are running, who have a pretty good opportunity of winning. One is Kennedy Jr., who is pro-Bitcoin, anti-CBDC, and he's running as a Democrat. And then we also have Ron DeSantis, the current governor of Florida, which I respect because he's also anti-CBDC and pro-Bitcoin, but he is a Republican. So I don't care Republican or Democrat. I only care pro-Bitcoin, anti-CBDC. If you're pro-Bitcoin and anti-CBDC, you have my support. I can care less about the Democratic Party. Also, there's some people running independent who I respect as well, who are pro-Bitcoin. So I think this is going to be, a lot of controversy, but I think it'll be a big factor for this presidential election. Let me know what you guys think. And if you had to vote, who would you vote for at this current race of the game for the presidential candidate? Do let me know. Ish coins have done me no favors. Guess everyone learns the hard way. Bitcoin all the way. Yeah, if you've been in the game, you already know Paul P. Word up, you know from firsthand experience, it is what it is. Every day in the garden, growing San Pedros for the future and saving sats for my son. That's what's up. Much love and much respect to Will Stopson versus Guru. Keep doing what you're doing. Anyways, fam, now for a recap of what I covered with you here in today's show. I broke down the latest technical analysis as the Bitcoin price action remains undoubtedly bullish as Bitcoin buyers continue to emerge. We also discuss breaking news of Gemini filing a lawsuit against the digital currency group and Barry Silbert over Genesis and Earn program. We also discuss why a Bitcoin ETF approval would be a big deal, obviously to usher in this mass adoption as there's trillions sitting in the sidelines of capital. We also discuss Google Cloud furthers their Bitcoin Lightning ambitions with their most recent Voltage partnership. We also discuss the latest with BlackRock, the largest asset manager in the world. Their CEO, Larry Fink, calls Bitcoin digital gold and says the spot Bitcoin ETF will democratize crypto investments. And we also discuss our main story of the day, AI, artificial intelligence, has the potential to send the Bitcoin price to $760,000, according to the former BitMEX CEO. Where do you feel the Bitcoin price is likely to go next? Let me know in the comments below, and I'll see you all tomorrow on